Hi, I'm Mike Marko. In this video, I want to talk to you about understanding your lifetime value of your customers and also the profit margins you have. Now, understanding what the total lifetime value of a customer is important. Now, if you're just beginning, you're going to have to estimate this, but if you have been in business for a couple of years already or longer, you should do is take a look at all your customers. You should have a pretty good idea what your average lifetime value of a customer might be. Is a customer, once you've acquired one, worth several $1,000s, $50,000, $100,000? Understanding that lifetime value of a customer is essential. Now, if you're selling just digital products, you might have a slightly lower lifetime value of a customer versus something if you have like a high-end consulting business. Okay, but let's say for argument's sake, we can go through the math here. So we cover all this. You say you actually have a service that's worth $1,000. It could be a digital product, maybe it's your consulting business, and so on. Okay, say it's $1,000 for that particular service. With that, you're going to pay approximately, we're just going to use some simple numbers here, say $40 of that is going to go towards your credit card costs, your processing fees, okay, just for argument's sake. Then you also have to consider what is the cost of actually delivering that service. Now, sure, you're going to be giving your time in consulting business, but you're going to still have some overheads associated with it. If you have a digital product, you also have to maintain the actual digital product, and you have maintenance, and you have customer service, and so on. So you should have, if you don't have any experience with that, you're going to have to take a guesstimate of that. But if you've been in for a while, you should be able to really come up with a pretty good number. Let's just say, for argument's sake, the cost of actually delivering that is $160, okay, as an example. So the true profit of that product, okay, of $1,000 is $800, okay. Now that's the problem is a lot of times that people, when they see that they're selling a $1,000 service, they don't count these fees involved in there, and so they focus and they get hung up around the fact it's a $1,000 product. They base all their math around $1,000, but really the real number may be closer to $800 instead of $1,000. If you have actual physical products, this might even be less, okay, because digital products and consulting services have some of the lowest overheads there is, but if you start delivering, say, a physical product, this number is going to be much less, okay? But anyways, let's just go through this argument, this math, so that we can understand how to determine what is your overall profit margins. Okay, so we have $800. Now, let's talk about your advertising costs and how this relates to your advertising costs. You actually have costs per click, okay, lead, okay, and then you actually have, okay, so you have cost per click. Cost per click is what's going to cost to get a particular click, okay? Now, it can range depending on what your audience is and who you're targeting. It can range, but I want to keep math pretty relatively simple. Let's go and assume that one click is $1, okay? And you have a capture page where you can actually capture people's emails, okay? Let's just say for your marketing funnel, let's just say it's 25%. Typically, you want to go at least, they're going to range, good capture page, they're going to range from 20% all the way up to about 60%. Very rarely it's higher, but if you get higher, it's even great. But the thing is, especially if you're using the techniques where you're actually you're taking people from the freeway to the sidewalk to the store, these numbers are going to be much higher than if you just try to collect leads for people who have no idea who you are, or really there's solutions to the problem. Okay, so that's why it's important to take them through those stages. But if you do this right, you should have at least 25% of the clicks you get collected as leads, okay? And so on top of that, you have the conversion. Okay, what this means is what percentage of people that actually become leads or have a chance of becoming an actual sale. This could range anywhere between 0.5% to 2%. For our math, to keep it simple, let's say 2%, but it's going to come with your experience and seeing how things are going with regards to your data collection. Again, like I said, it can be anywhere between 0.5% to 2% if your system is in place, is working properly. But again, for math purposes, we'll say 2%. Okay, so based on this, since of our clicks, only 25% of them become leads, or actually lead costs is actually $4. okay, because it takes 4 clicks on average to get 1 lead with 25%, so it's $4, okay? So if we want 100 leads, will actually cost us $400. Instead of 1 lead will cost $4, 100 leads is going to cost us $400, okay? So with that in mind, if we were to say we have 100 leads and we have 2% conversion, that means we actually should have 2 sales. So 2 times $800, which is our profit, gives us a return of $1,600. Okay. So what typically would happen? So what you're going to see here is that for every $400 we're going to put in, we are going to make $1,600, and this gives us a return of, for every dollar we put in, we get $4 out. Okay, which is a pretty good return. So go through this math, figure out what you have here. Now the thing is this is going to actually start helping you understand what your tolerance levels for different ads are going to be. So what you want to do with regards to how much you want to spend per lead. So when we actually start building this up here, and you start testing, say, Facebook ads, you don't know, okay, for sure what that lead's going to cost, but you need to understand what your tolerance levels are. A good way of looking at it, and we're going to cover this in a future video, is you have like a green light, yellow light, and red light with regards to lead costs once you start understanding these numbers. So you might say green light, great, ramp it up, scale it up. Yellow means maybe do some tweaking and start building up. So for instance, say green light might be $1, okay, or sorry, this case here might be a lead cost of $4. Okay, that might be great given our business model. We may find as soon as we get to $8 a lead that maybe that's yellow light we want to start optimizing. And if we hit 16, okay, that basically means we're breaking even. It means we need the red light, stop that particular ad, and start from scratch, or let's see what other campaigns are doing. Now, just because we might be running 0, maybe we have 0 profit. Maybe this worked out here, the math worked out here that it was actually 1 for 1. Maybe $1 for every dollar you put in, okay, on the initial product. Now, we've only looked at here is the initial product purchase. Now you have to look at too is what's the lifetime value. What kind of upsells do you have in place based on that product? So say maybe you have a $1,000 product as an introduction course, and then they get to learn more about you, then you have upsells, and maybe you have a consulting business where you actually charge between $20,000 and $50,000 a client per year, okay? So you may actually have a lifetime value of $100,000 for a client, so that acquiring that client becomes so much easier when they already become a customer already, because they start building up the trust within you. So you need to factor that kind of stuff into the overall average lifetime value. So if your average lifetime value of a customer ends up being, say, $50,000, okay, $50,000, that 1 for 1 up front is just noise for you. It covers your advertising costs. It's like almost becomes like a liquidating offer, so you don't have, your advertising costs are all covered. And now you start focusing on the conversions to long-term customers where you actually have your longer lifetime value, and start optimizing that side of the process. That's when you start really making the money, okay? So sit down, go through that math, the initial math on what the actual costs are for each say service, figure what the real value is, real profit is on each of those real services, and keep that in your back pocket, because when we start doing advertising and start ramping it up, it really helps to understand what that is, so you know whether or not you're spending too much on your advertising or not, or if you need to switch gears or improve things. Okay? So I just wanted to touch this initially stuff here on lifetime value and understanding your profit margins. We're going to cover that more in future videos when we start going to the actual advertising side of things. Okay? Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.